Another problem we confronted 8 years ago was one that has been baffling to administrations since the 1970s. What do we do with the city of Camden? Now, some had tried to turn it into a militarized zone to stem the tide of murders and shootings. Some tried to throw money at the problem in Camden due to the urging of some corrupt politicians who later landed in jail due to the efforts of my U.S. Attorney's Office. That, of course, didn't work by itself. So we decided to confront these problems using common sense, bipartisanship, and once again, telling the hard truths that past administrations were too politically correct to say out loud. First, we established an unprecedented partnership with the Democratic mayor of Camden, Dana Red. We promised each other that we would check our politics at the door and put the interests of a resurgent Camden at the forefront. Now, Dana Red kept her word to me for 8 years, and she's here today, and for that, Dana, I say thank you, partner. Thank you very much. Second, we then needed together to establish a plan to create the foundation of any successful city in America today. Real public safety, good public education, and economic opportunity. First, we attacked the issue of public safety in 2012. It had been the deadliest year in Camden history, earning it the distinction of the nation's most violent city. So what do? We fired the failed Camden City Police Department because they were overpaid and underperformers. Everyone knew it. No one else wanted to say it. Dana and I, Red and I said it. We fired them. And then we partnered with the city and the Camden County Freeholders to create a countywide police force with a metro division that would patrol Camden City. Get ready. For the same amount of money, we went from 160 police officers to 349 police officers. And when the next class of cadets graduates, it will bring that number to 400 police officers. What have the results been? In 2017, murders are down 66% from 2012. Robberies are down 46% from 2012, and non-fatal shootings are down 45% from 2012. And just so you have historic context, 2017 was the lowest number of murders in Camden in more than 30 years. Even more than the change in numbers, there has been a fundamental change in the relationship between the police and the public. While we all in horror watched violence erupt in Ferguson, Missouri, there was no such violence in Camden. Instead, under the leadership of Chief Scott Thompson, who is here today, you see police officers in Camden at churches and street fairs, at baseball games, and at school crossings. But here's the difference. At each one of those places, they are standing with the people that they are sworn to protect and serve. For Chief Thompson and the men and women of the Camden County Police Force Metro Division, God bless you for the lives you saved over the last 5 years. Next, we needed to change the failing Camden public schools. They were the worst performing public schools in New Jersey. They had 4 of the 5 lowest performing schools in New Jersey. And unlike the takeover of the Newark schools decades earlier, we worked with the school district and effectuated an agreed upon partnership. Working with the community, we picked a dynamic new superintendent, Payman Rahanafard. We began a school-by-school evaluation with the goal of improving education in every classroom. We closed schools that didn't work. We opened 3 new charter schools, 3 new Renaissance schools, and significantly cut back a wasteful central office staff. Since these changes have been made, the results have been astonishing. 5 years. In 5 years, the graduation rates have gone from 49% to 70%. The dropout rates district-wide have dropped from 21% to 12%. And this is the one that warms my heart the most. The dropout rate for African American students in Camden has been cut in half. And to those who believe that just throwing money at public education is what will fix it, Camden is the proof. We do not need to change the funding. We need to change the approach to educating these students. People who run this state need to get that through their head, and Camden is the proof of it. Of course, there's still more to do, but a good public education is now very possible for most Camden students, something we clearly couldn't have said 5 years ago. Lastly, we needed to increase economic opportunity for all those who live in Camden. Now, due to our designation of Camden as a Garden State Growth Zone, a promise made and kept from the 2009 campaign, 28 projects have sprung up across the city of Camden. These projects will have $1.4 billion in private investment. Private investment. It's going to create nearly 2,000 new jobs in Camden and retain over 3,500 more jobs. The development that's happening is going to spur 7,000 construction jobs for our building trades alone. And it's a who's who of American business. Holtec, Cooper MD Anderson Cancer Center, Philadelphia 76ers, Subaru of America, American Water, EMR Eastern, Lockheed Martin, Cooper University Health, and the new $700 million Camden waterfront project, which will have office space, residential units, and a hotel. A waterfront hotel rather than a waterfront jail in Camden. We are making progress. Words I never thought I'd say from behind this podium. Business is booming in Camden. Business is booming in Camden. And by the way, so is Rutgers University, who's adding a number of buildings to its Camden campus and expanding opportunity for students there each and every day. The rebirth of Camden is happening, Dana. It's happening. What we envisioned 8 years ago is happening. And not with government giveaways or tanks in the street, but with a bipartisan spirit and a can-do attitude. Now, a lot of people have been responsible for this rebirth, but one person has never wavered in his belief in this city. I want to tell you, none of this could have been accomplished without the relentless will of George Norcross. It is indisputable that Camden has no greater cheerleader and no greater investor. I can't believe it, but I am honored that George Norcross is here today, and I'm even more honored to call him my partner in this rebirth of Camden. We did it, George, and thank you for being my partner.